It has been some time now since its release, and the hype cycle, burning fast and hot like most passions, has faded. Nothing lives long in our social media age. Andor Season 2 remains a triumph. It stood on the shoulders of the original trilogy giant, but Andor stands very, very tall with its own feet on the ground. In fact, it towers over the hellscape of our television horizon, the tsunamis of dross overwhelming our senses. If only it was just 57 channels and nothing on these days. I was unaware of the brief given to the creatives. To condense multiple seasons of the Rebel Alliance story, the Rebel Alliance Luke Skywalker eventually finds, into one 12-episode run. Sometimes art is improved by boundaries. It is why the sonnet is the most successful poetic form in English. It is why Thor Ragnarok is so superior to Thor Love and Thunder. So when BBY3 flashed on the screen in episode 4, in that distinct color and font from the OT, I was disappointed, confused. Why were they rushing so quickly to the Battle of Yavin? While Tony Gilroy, his close collaborators, and the other creatives here have earned the right to tell a longer story, the story they wanted, I can't help feel that with studio requirements for episodes, time for studio functionaries to see success and start to meddle, time to just exhaust creative energies, extending this story risks the distilled purity and distilled drama of Andor Season 2, where not one moment seems superfluous, where every scene, in all 4 dimensions, is superbly crafted and carries weight. Quality must be a word of sincere focus in every facet of 21st century living. Andor comes as a true gift. Andor brings a level of care and craftsmanship rarely seen and sadly lacking in our 21st century lives. As y'all know, I am just an average nerd. I know Luke Skywalker's lightsaber should be green, and in The Mandalorian I screamed, "It's green!" to my son watching the episode with me. I have watched Rebels and most of the Clone Wars and enjoyed them both, but I cannot quote the lore. A New Hope was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, far too young to fully appreciate it then, but I was old enough to stand by myself, in the times before the internet, in the long queues for movie tickets on the day of release for Return of the Jedi. Back then, I thought the Ewoks were cool. A quick intermission, Team Average. These last 3 months have been extraordinary. Chris Average TV has been my first attempt to tell real stories, and like all creative journeys, it's been a roller coaster. No one goes on the roller coaster alone. If you would like to support the channel and see more long-form video essays, 3 simple requests. Please watch videos to the end, like and comment, subscribe. Thanks so much, and back to Andor Remastered. I knew almost nothing in Star Wars canon about Ghorman before watching Andor Season 2. Is Andor even Star Wars? This debate raged in Season 1 and through the release of Season 2. I believe this topic is worthy of its own episode. Andor makes the Empire dangerous for the first time in almost 50 years, in ways it has not been since The Empire Strikes Back. While Return of the Jedi emasculates the Empire, Andor gives it teeth, fists, and most importantly, brains. Major Partagaz and his ISB seniors are professionals, driven and competent, formidable antagonists for the green shoots of the rebellion. They are the visible engine of the invisible bureaucracy that kills Joseph K. and evil. It's Hannah Arendt and not Emperor Palpatine, but the Andor creatives show why this is even more insidious. 2 formidable adversaries, Orson Krennic and Dedra Meero, in Episode 1 plot the long-game genocide of the planet Ghorman in a meeting room. The Empire needs a critical mineral for the correct functioning of the Death Star. Bad luck, Greenland. I believe I've heard the creative say the scene was inspired by the Wannsee Conference of 1942, a Nazi meeting held in the suburbs of Berlin, coordinating the final solution of the Jewish question. No one from the empire dare says war crime or genocide when discussing the very topic. Like cowards, the Nazi framed it as a Jewish question. Genocide is the same as planning the airway corridors for Coruscant. 4 Jedi do not enter the room with lightsabers drawn to stop the proceedings. That is Platonic Star Wars, and it is epic. Andor gives us the Aristotelian Star Wars and demonstrates to us over 2 immense seasons that this philosophy can be great too. Both philosophies share long forgotten virtues: thoughtfulness, care, craftsmanship. Quality writing knits these philosophies together. Uncle Vanya can bomb on stage, but the writing remains gold. Television rarely delivers anything that can be said in the same sentence as Uncle Vanya. A scene between Cyril and Daedra recalls Vanya running through the house with a gun. Could one like Andor if they dislike science fiction? I dislike advertising, but I still want to watch Mad Men because of what I've heard about the writing. Partagaz has an imperial-sized boardroom, his round table. This is the Sith version of the Knights of the Round Table. He and his supervisors wear uniforms, different in style but familiar to us. What I remember of I, Claudius, is everyone wore a centurion uniform or Roman robes, but I was very young when it was on public television. There is no doubt Andor is accentuated by my childhood love of the OT, but I would like Andor all the same. It is to Andor's credit that its writing recalls this adoration. Even from a different school of philosophy, it blends it seamlessly. A great victory for the creatives. Their work elevates the work that came before it. Rogue One is even better now that Andor exists. I have a feeling even A New Hope will feel different on my next watch, even though it'll probably be my 100th. I want to do a few more videos about Andor Season 2. I watched Rogue One immediately after binging the final 2 episodes, and I want to talk about that experience. In awards season, Andor Season 2 will rightly sweep trophies in both the US and UK. I have no technical chops in film. I'm not even average. But the writing and creative assets for Andor, music, costumes, visual effects, seem to me generationally good. They had the budget and used it with diligence and care. I know the editing for A New Hope is considered legendary and won an Oscar. Again, I have no technical chops, but here the editing actually stood out to me as close to perfection. I've seen Uncle Vanya performed by amateurs and bomb. I fell in love with Macbeth in 6th grade because of a performance of Lady Macbeth by an 8th grader. How do you choose Best Supporting Actor and Actress between Kyle Soller, Denise Gough, Genevieve O'Reilly, Elizabeth Dulau, and Stellan Skarsgård? This choice is as unfair as who lives and who dies in the rebellion. I want to say more about Andor, even though the hype cycle has waned. And that's a crucial point. Andor left me thinking, and stayed with me with real moments of contemplation for days afterwards. This is the first and most important attribute of great art, and a rare space for television to occupy. May the Force be with you, Team Average. Please like, subscribe, and share.